for legal reasons, to make sure I'm not violating anyone's copyright. A few of the examples are based on manuscripts I edited, rewritten to protect the innocent. Happy listening and writing. Sandra Gerth. 2. Definition. What point of view is, and why it's so important. Have you ever watched a movie that was based on a novel that you had read? If you did, which did you like better, the novel or the movie? If you are anything like me and most other people, you probably prefer the book over the movie most of the time. The reason for that preference is point of view. I'll explain that in a second, but let's define what point of view is first. Definition of POV. The narrative point of view, often shortened to POV, is the perspective from which a story, or at least a section of the story, is told. It's like a lens through which the readers view the events. Here's why POV is the reason most people prefer the book to the movie based on the book. POV makes reading a book a more intimate experience compared to other forms of storytelling, such as movies and TV shows. In novels and short stories, readers aren't limited to seeing just the outer actions and hearing the dialogue. They get to dip into the minds of the characters, see the events through their eyes, and experience their emotions. They are becoming the protagonist and living the story instead of just watching it. That's why, as readers, we're often much more emotionally involved in books than movies. The importance of POV. POV isn't just another element of the writing craft. It's the foundation that will help you write a great book and avoid problems with the other core elements of fiction. Point of view determines how readers will view your characters, how close they feel to them, and with whom they will identify. Point of view helps you create tension and suspense by controlling how much information you give your readers about what's going on in the story. Readers will keep turning the pages if they get to discover what will happen next, along with the POV character. A close point of view encourages you to show instead of tell, which basically means bringing the story to life instead of delivering a second-hand report. If you want to find out more about showing and telling, take a look at my nonfiction book, Show, Don't Tell: How to Write Vivid Descriptions, Handle Backstory, and Describe Your Character's Emotions. So you can see how important it is to understand point of view. Still, many writers, not just new ones, struggle with it. You might think that it doesn't matter, because readers don't know what point of view is anyway. Well, readers will notice the effects of POV problems, even if they most often won't be able to pinpoint it as such. What they'll typically say instead is that they couldn't warm up to the main character, or found it hard to get into the story. Exercise number 1. Take a look at your DVD collection, or try to remember the movies you have seen that are based on novels you have read. Are there any books you liked better than their movies? If yes, what were you missing in the movies? What made reading the novels a more enjoyable experience? Can you think of any movies that were better than the books that inspired them? If yes, what did these movies have in common? What makes the movies you preferred to the books different from the movies you didn't enjoy as much as the books? In other words, what kind of novel works as a movie and what kind doesn't? For example, does a certain genre or a certain type of main character or a certain kind of plot work better than others? Can you see a connection to point of view?